Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am back with another episode of Dope, where we dare our people to educate. I am sorry for last week. I had a pregnancy scare. He did not come, but the due date is Wednesday, tomorrow. So I have no idea if I'm gonna do one the following week, but here we go. So today, I was discussing with a family member, a friend, a well-off, educated person, a cousin, uh, a Gemini. We want to mention that because they thinkers, them Geminis, boy, oh boy.
You know it.
And he goes by the name of D man.
What's up with y'all? What's up with y'all?
Some of y'all might know him by Deshaun. But and we also got Big Mike listening. He's somewhere around. He ain't around right now, but he'll be here. Ooh, excuse me. And so we talking about like influences and what influenced you to do certain stuff, bad, good. Who should be your influencers? How do you pick your influencers? And
Do you even pick your influence?
do you even pick them? Do they come naturally, or do you pick them? Like I find myself picking them now, but when I was younger, I didn't realize I was influenced. But let's start. Let's get a little background on D, and then we can probably tap in on his influence from there. So tell us something about you, D. Tell them something so they know you.
All right, what's up with y'all? Man, I'm Deshaun. You know, grew up on the north side, Columbus, Linden area, north side. Yeah. Went to Linden. I went to college. You know, tried that for a year or something like that. I ain't really care for it. I jumped into the workforce early. You feel me?
So was that like a influence thing, or was that I need money?
that was man. I definitely need money, but in a sense, the way I think about it is something influenced that anyways. I think the money was an influence at that
Yeah,
point.
see, money is an
So-
influence. I think a lot of times with black people in the situation we come from, we get influence basically off of need, off of I have to have something now,
That survival.
survival. So, like, I went to college too, and I was working full time. I was actually your mom had got me a job at Giant Eagle. I was working full time, going to college, and I had my first kid. And long story short, I had to give up one, and I can't give up the job. Like, you can't say, oh, all right, well, I
Gotta
can't.
keep that money coming in.
Right.
That's usually
So,
where our
but
first bit of influence.
what influenced me in that situation was my child influenced me to get out the streets, because I got out the streets because of it too.
Mhm.
I wasn't hanging out at the traps. I wasn't hanging out at the clubs. So I was influenced by that. But like throughout my life, like my influences were just picked off of pure ignorance until I got to a place of healthiness. So like I started saying all that to say like we all start off rocky with influences, and that's just excuse me, dang, I got the hiccups, and that's just off purely where we come from and having to survive and having to be a man when you really ain't a man yet. You're a kid. You're a boy.
Having to
You
grow
know,
up too early.
and so we don't get the privilege of being a kid and being well off in college and having all the mess ups and getting the breaks that
True.
our counter race gets, the Caucasians. You know, that's part of white privilege, if you ask me. That's the privilege I want my kid to have. I want my kid to have my house that I paid for, so then they can sell it and have money while they're going to college, or then they can keep it in the family and do whatever, and all the kids meet up there for Sunday dinner type shit.
How long have you known about stuff like that though? Like,
Generational wealth.
yeah.
It's fairly new. I'm 33. I would say 25 is when it clicked to me that I'm so far behind in life because everybody around me had generational wealth, even if it was a little bit. You know, like their mom left them a car. You know, like I got one of my homies is grandpa left him a house. He left it to the family, not necessarily one or the other, but he left him a house. Mm-hmm. That's great generational wealth. They don't got to pay rent.
True.
You know, you that's a win-win. And I'm not hating on him either by all means. Like, y'all know I do nothing but support love. I love that. And he was like a grandpa to me and all that. But I just love all that. And I want to make sure I do that and leave something behind for my kids. And hopefully I get big enough to where I can do it for my nieces and nephew and help everybody out. And I like to look at myself as an influencer, and I would love to be an influencer.
What do you want to influence? What do you, when you impact somebody, because influence is obviously an impacting agent. When you influence somebody, what do you hope for them to take away from you?
So I usually lean more towards just doing something right, like for they self first, but just doing right in general for like the black community and all that. So like I try to influence my cousins. Them the first ones I go. Well, the first ones I go for will be always my son, but y'all know my son is on the way. My other son passed, or whatever. So then when you move on, it's always the black man. I think as a black man, I can influence a black man quicker. I know that if you want a direct effect, you need to influence a black woman. Mm-hmm. Or I probably should say a woman, but I'm looking straight at the black community, so I'm saying black woman. So women have the power to control everything, but I know it's like way harder to get through to a woman. And even though I'm saying a woman, I really mean a kid, like a female little girl, you know, like even my daughter. I try to influence my daughter just off the fact that she's my daughter, but I be trying to give her the game of this is what's gonna happen and this is what the guys are trying to do.
Real talk.
She don't want to hear none of that. But if my sister, my girl, her mom, my mother-in-law, my dad's wife, if any of them females tell her anything, it's golden. And they can literally repeat what I said
and get a better reaction
and it'll get through to them. It just and it's crazy though, because I done experienced this with past relationships I'm in, family members, like where just because it came from a black man, it can't be true. It can't be right. It can't be. And so, long story short, I tend to lean more towards directing the man certain ways, and I like to direct the man certain ways due to the fact of their life is going to be harder. They have to worry about being killed out here by another black man, by a cop, by a white man. They got more stuff coming to them. The smallest thing they surround themselves with, they don't have to do the crime, but you know the person that did it, you got 40 years now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I try to influence them to stay out of jail, influence them to do right, influence them to work. That's like one of the big things I try to do. Influence them to work, to not sell drugs. Well, I'm talking about people that's not old enough to work yet, but I'm trying to get through their head before they can, because my biggest influence was my father, and what he did was he instilled in me work, even though I met my dad before I was 12, but I didn't really know my dad until I was 12. Like, I got to see him on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Like, before it was whenever someone or him, I don't know, I was a kid. Whenever my mom and dad would actually get along, then I could, or whatever their beef was before I was 12. At 12 is when me and my older brother went and stayed with my dad. He ended up getting custody of me. I got to know him on a day-to-day basis. He employed me at his job. He instilled in me work. I have not missed a beat since.
That's what's up.
So I try to influence people like that. What's your biggest influence? Because it sounds like you interviewing me.
Right. I feel that.
What's your biggest influence?
Okay. So, like, at some point I realized, what influence and understanding what that was for me, and that was I don't know, maybe I learned it early. Let's just say that I learned it early, and I started paying attention to different things and whatnot. So now what I do to try to exude that influence, you know, on the next generation. I don't necessarily try to influence my peers or nothing like that. I always feel like, you know, they ears is closed off because they feel like I'm just figuring this out. They just found out. They parents is still figuring this out. Nigga, I agree. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's still just trying to figure this out. So the next generation is the ones we need to look toward to influencing. And so I got what 14, 15 nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It's
I
a lot.
feel like that's my starting point.
Yes. So I want to touch on where you said even our peers, like you feel like you can't get through to them. Y'all got to get to a healthy spot. And I granted, I know we 30 now, not you, but like my peers, we're 30 now. So like we influence each other and we speak healthy into each other. Like me, Mike, Trey, when we try to influence each other. Cause like, what's the saying go? 2 brains is better than 1 type shit and all that. You know what I mean? So, but you gotta be healthy and you gotta be willing to take the criticism and hear it. That it doesn't always mean that they're right, but hear it.
I feel like that comes with maturity, and everybody don't mature the same. You feel me? So everybody don't mature at the same rate of time and whatnot. So it's like you can be spilling out all this information and whatnot. Like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. Like, you ever try to get your boys like, hey, yo, they said we can make $100 if we get together and we do this right now. And your boys is like, man, I got something better to do, and they just go home and play the game or some shit. Like, or nigga smoking is. I don't smoke. I ain't got nothing against people who do. You feel me?
Yeah.
But like I said, with that maturity, the priorities come into play. So it's like, okay, nigga, obviously we in this situation where nigga we without money, but we got the opportunity to get this money. Yeah. Yet it's more important to go smoke or play the game. Yeah. You feel me? Because you tired or I get it.
All right, so with that being said, I think you at the stage in life where you going to start seeing, and I know you already done seen it because you, what, 25, 26? 27?
28.
So,
damn.
He said 28. He done forgot his age.
Damn.
So you at the age in life where you already done seen people fall off. You already, like, and what I mean by fall off, I don't mean like money-wise. I mean like you just don't be around them no more. In a sense of, you don't have time for their foolishness. You don't have you either making money or doing something you want to do, and they like, oh, I'm gonna smoke.
It's still a learning process for me, actually. It's first it was identifying it. You know, oh man, you gotta identify the need. You know, to move away from that. And then secondly, it was okay.
It happened natural too.
Yeah, and it is. It's definitely happening naturally because I've gone that route. You feel me? And I'm like, all right, well, hold on, let me step back and look at this again. And all of a sudden, I'm like, damn. The reality is painful for real because them your boys, them your niggas. You feel me?
At the same time, how many of them have kids? Like, how many people we talking about first?
Well. Shit, I keep a small circle, but
about 3 people.
But I mean, it's about 3 of them. And
so out of the 3, all 3 of them got kids.
All 3
out of the 3, how many of them got a family? And I mean, like a girl and kids in the same house.
2.
So one got kid, but he stayed in a separate house. He stayed by himself. Was his parents? Was a girl?
Actually, one of them is a female. You feel me? And she
got kids.
She got 1 kid, and I don't even know her.
So what I'm doing,
like she kind of situated. She kind of separated herself.
Yeah, well, females keep that all on the hush hush because you know what they say. A girl got 1 man times 3.
For sure.
Always, whichever one. If they showing you 2, that means they got times 3, so that's 6. But no disrespect to that young lady.
Real shit.
But what I'm doing is I'm breaking down their time. So you figure they work a 40-hour work week, which is 8 hours a day for 5 days. That leaves them with 16 hours. They also have to sleep. That leaves them 6 to 8 hours. I mean, that's 6 to 8 hours. So then that's 16 hours. That leaves them with 8 hours of kicking time. So now they have to find time for their personal habits, their kids, and their wife. And that's one way that people fall off and go separate paths.
So would you say it's just a matter of time management? Everybody on different levels
It's
of
definitely
time management?
but at the same time, you gonna find yourself linking with a different circle. Like they'll always be family to you.
That's right.
You've been knowing them all your life. It's not me saying that because I have friends who I haven't seen in a year, but I might talk to on the game. So
Sure.
I might not see them in a year, but when we see each other, it's just like we never miss a beat. But that's just because I'm working 60-hour weeks. I also have a family that I have, like, even like when I was single, I had full custody. So I'm also a full custody single parent working 60 hours a week and finding time to kick it and finding time to get my daughter to gymnastics and make sure she has a good childhood where she say, yo, my dad not only financed, but he took care of me and I lived a good life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you gonna have those people and y'all just gonna dwindle off and do your own thing separate ways, and then one day he might be out kicking it, see you out kicking it. Hey, this don't miss a beat.
True.
But
I've experienced a couple of those moments.
Because all that is influence. Your job is going to influence you to do something to benefit them. And it's always to benefit them. They do not give a fuck about you. That is their business. They have a bottom line. They are going to meet it. Your family is going to influence you to, well, your family should influence you to take care of them and show love and support and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of people who don't.
Let's hit on that, though. Like the influence from the family, because that's your first influence, right?
That should be your number one influence.
That should be your number one influence.
Motivation.
When we say our people is either succeeding or failing, it's usually traced back to the family.
Yes.
I don't feel like I don't feel like I had a failure, a failure setup.
Yeah.
But I know it wasn't, top notch. I mean, everybody I seen, as far as the perspective that I took on my family, the influence that my family has had on me was they've always tried. Yeah. So I make that my thing, I make sure I'm always trying. You feel me? So how has that affected you?
So family influence. So I think we're looking at family as two different things, though, because family is two different things. But you haven't had a kid yet, so
true.
So like when I say,
you're looking at the separated family.
Yeah, I'm looking at it as
that you've created.
Yeah, I'm looking at the family that I created that I have to provide for. That's what I'm speaking on, and I think you're speaking in general family.
Yeah, I mean, my bad. I speak in general a lot, but it's like
I mean, it's not a bad thing.
I'm thinking in terms of, because even with that, it's like
it's a different type of motivation, though.
True.
Like if you have a son or daughter out here, and you know how you grew up, you know what I mean, and you don't want your son or daughter to see XYZ that you went through, or even experience or feel XYZ that you went through, you go extra hard because you just want to like the thing with me is I went extra hard because of a lot of things I didn't agree with as a kid, and then in my adult life, while I was trying not to do this, I realized it was 10 times easier than what everybody around me made it out to be. And when I say everybody, I'm not talking about just in the family. I'm talking about media, social media, all that. Like, I done been the guy on child support. It's not that bad. It's more of a mental fuck to me than anything. Bitch, you gonna put me on child support and
True.
I do everything?
Yeah.
So you just want to control me and control my money. You know what I mean? And then I done been the guy with full custody. So when you see all these bitches out here saying, "Won't you try working a full job and having full custody?" Well, ma'am, I do work a full-time job, 60 hours a week, and maintain full-time custody with no help. Like, yeah, I have did that for years. So I'm actually just now getting help. 5 years I've been doing it solo. So I mean, my influence when I think of family is different, even with me expanding my family, is because I can't fall off. I also don't have that safety net that most people have.
True.
You know, like I'm the main provider.
But what do you think the difference is in somebody who's met with that? Because I would call that I would call that a
What you mean?
challenge. I would call that a challenge. So
it's
so
a
somebody-
challenge, but it's a
lot of
challenge
people-
you can't fail.
Right. It's a challenge you can't fail, but that's the mindset you got,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, I can't fail. But it's some cats out there who just like, I just can't do it, man. I give up.
Yeah, so a lot of times I look at them and I'll be like, who was their father? What was their influence? Who was their role
Then
model?
you go back to the original family.
I go right back to it because when you are a man and you have a male in your life that he don't even have to say nothing to you, but he was there providing, you realize it. You acknowledge. Like you can, I don't want to say you can't just see it because I know some people who didn't see it for themselves, and I have conversations about that, but I like to think that's the bitch in them though. No, like for real, like when I see these people who had it nice and then they go, fuck my dad, and then I know their dad, I'm like dog,
Your dad was
your
cool.
dad was good to you, man.
Right.
Like I know people who ain't got a dad, bro. Like I know people who had a dad that was worse. I know people whose dad fucked them up and beat them and X, Y, Z. Your dad was good to you, so for you to say that because you and your feelings about something you and your dad disagree on, whether he was right or you was right, that's just like that's bitch to me because that's what females do. So that's why I say bitch. Like that's a bitch trait to me.
I feel that.
Like shouldn't no man knock another man when they know a man struggle.
True.
You know what that nigga had to go through.
True.
You know how hard it is for you.
True.
So why you at that man's neck? But I always like to look back at that, like what's wrong with man? Like I don't know. Like I like a lot of things influences me. A lot of things influence me, and it influenced me just to sit and ponder all day. I ponder a lot.
I feel that.
I literally think
Same.
and just hold it in and be like, well, why would they do that? Like, why? What would make someone do that? And a lot of times it comes back to bitch traits to me when it's men, cause like a lot of things like I say this all the time on here about my older brother. Like that nigga got some bitch traits out this world,
Damn.
and then I be like, I dig into it. Like, well, damn, I got lucky and got my dad. His biggest male model was my dad, who he never got to really see.
Right.
He called my dad dad. He didn't. I barely got to know my dad until I was 12. So how this nigga gonna know him?
For sure.
You know what I mean? So he wasn't raised by nobody but the females in the family. And we can go through the list of the guys in the family like that, and I'll be like, look why he do look why he does this.
Yeah.
It's bitch traits, like, and a lot of times like people don't see that, but that's how I feel about things. Then they know it. I tell them, I call them out on it when we get into it.
See, when I sit back and I'm pondering on something, something that deep, like I come up with too many scenarios.
Yeah, I do, and then I try to close it like
Narrow
the
it
end of
down
the
a
road.
little bit.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, but go ahead.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I had an interest in the human behavior, and then of course that breaks down into the man being
Yeah.
like the main influencer as is. Like, hey, what the fuck could he have been thinking? Like, to go that route when he had all these options. And the only thing I can come to is you block off some of those options because he never felt like he had those options.
Yeah.
So
that's true too.
So it's like, well, why didn't he feel like? And then, like I said, I start to spread too far thin. You feel me? And I'll be like,
well, you gotta also chalk some of it up to just a kid mentality. So like
that immaturity.
Immaturity. So like I want to impress my friends and my peers.
I feel that
because they're being influenced by their peers at the same time. Cause you know what I mean? Like your peers influence you to a point where you don't even see that they're influencing you.
True.
Like, well, think about this.
So
we only buy Jordans because all our friends buy Jordans. You know what I mean? When we was in high school, you know what I mean? Like,
why do we buy Jordans?
People who don't watch
talking about it.
There's people who didn't watch, play, or know who Michael Jordan was buying Jordans. Why did they do that?
Because everybody else had Jordans. Jordans was the
top. I bought some Jordans that I never even seen before, just because somebody said you getting the new J's that come out Saturday. Like I done bought some ugly ass Jordans just because somebody else was going to get them too.
I don't know what it was for me, but I made it a thing to go against that type of peer pressure.
That's the Gemini in you.
I made it a thing to go against that peer pressure.
That's the Gemini in you. Man, that's the Gemini in you, bro.
So what? You motherfuckers got the Jordans. I'm gonna go get these Nikes out of Walmart.
Right?
Fuck you niggas. I'm gonna make them look good. You feel me? Y'all gonna be asking me what they is. Then you gonna find out they was FUBUs. Like, fuck the bullshit.
That's the Gemini in you to go against the grain regardless.
For sure.
That's our opposite, man. We both Geminis. I do that a lot too, where I go against the grain. And let's touch on that, going against the grain. What I have learned about going against the grain is you get a completely different perspective. When you're good at going against the grain, even if you're just fucking with somebody, and then cause I'm good with responses. Mm-hmm. Somebody say something, I got a spot right back. I got that from riffing.
That's that wit.
I got that. Yeah, I got that from riffing. You say something about me, I gotta come back with something witty and clever and nice right back.
Yeah.
If it's a female, I'm gonna come back with something witty and weather and cute right back. You
that's
feel
how
me?
We had to grow up anyways. We had to have a comeback.
Right.
Shit, we had to.
So when I go against the grain and I'm just winging it, going against it, and they say X, Y, Z, and I'm like, nope, da-da-da-da. I can really maintain a conversation and debate or argue about the opposite. And when you catch me and freeze me, if you do get me, I'll research. I'll do my Googles. You know what I mean?
Coming back stronger.
I'll come back stronger. And so, but what that has taught me now at the age of 33 is to take myself out of the situation. Like, if we was, oh man, what's a good scenario? If we talking about, or if something happens, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey man, would you do this? And I tell you exactly what I would do, right? And then you go, well, why did this motherfucker do this, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a three-way conversation because me and you talking about something what somebody else did. And I'll go, I'll remove everything, every little bit of knowledge I know, I'll remove it. Because clearly he don't have something that I have. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, he probably didn't see what was behind him. And I seen someone coming up behind me. Mm-hmm. So I removed that. And I put myself in his shoes. And I go, well, he doesn't know the look behind him. So he only can do this and this. So this is why he did this. That's how I look at things. So when I analyze things, when I analyze why my daughter did something, why something happens, or when I just see something, I like to remove myself in every aspect that I know. I might know less than him, but the less part that I know, he don't know at all.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So he might know 90% of the situation, and I know 5%. But the 5% that I know, I have to remove because he doesn't know that 5%. True. And then put myself in his shoes. That's how I think people need to look at it like that. Like when we had these arguments on Facebook and debates and all this shit, and like when Gucci Mane did the song about dude, you know what I mean? Like you have to remove how you feel about it because you don't know what he knows. You don't know the anxiety and the sleepless nights he has of someone having a gun to his head, then somebody else telling him to kill him. Rumble happens, everybody runs, and he ends up killing one. You don't know what demons he's fighting with his God that he believes in. Was he in the wrong or right? Is he going to hell or heaven? You don't know none of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to remove your personal beliefs, and he probably, he definitely want to have one up on Jeezy. That's the main reason why he did it.
True.
But you can't go in there with your feelings and your beliefs because that ain't his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I be trying to tell people, remove yourself. Remove yourself in every bit of knowledge you have. And input his knowledge. Put yourself in his shoes.
That's real.
You probably make the same exact decisions. Because you have his knowledge. You know what I mean? And as people get more knowledge and learn different angles of things, you know, they tend to choose different.
That hindsight is 20/20 type
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like you get past the situation, then you realize like how many different ways you could have did it and whatnot, but you passed that point. So that's real. What you do is another form of deductive reasoning, which is
that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using that word.
Deductive reasoning. So that's real. That's dope. That's actually like you said, that's what a lot of people should adopt doing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well,
females can't do it because they lead with emotions.
I wouldn't say they can't do it though.
No, they can do it. Don't get me wrong, they can because, like I said, nothing is 100%. So when I say can't, I'm like saying
it's hard for them to do it.
It's hard for them to do it because they lead with emotions, or the majority. Let's say the majority of them don't because they lead with emotions. Like a female will respond off of how she feel about what you said rather than what you actually said. She will respond off of
but I
how
don't
she
think it's
feel
just
about
a female
it.
thing. You feel me? Because
Stop right there.
Even in the black community,
let's stop right there.
Males,
stop right there. Them males
we respond with action.
Was raised by who?
Females.
Bitch trait. That goes back to my bitch trait.
I'm gonna give you that.
So if you come with a man, not man, but a manly man,
yeah,
and say he did that, you'll have me caught. I'll be stuck. I don't even know how to respond. But if you come with a man who I say got bitch traits, meaning they only know female ways because they was raised by a female, then I'm gonna say, well, he has a bitch trait. That's the female in him.
But then we gotta acknowledge before going there. We gotta acknowledge that influence is not always
good.
It's not always
positive,
selective. It's not something we can actually choose.
No.
Like it happens automatically.
Yeah, it happens automatically. Why I was saying that it definitely happens automatically.
But you can put yourself in situations to receive certain influence.
Yes, and even at like my age, I only allow myself to be influenced by who I want, and I'm very conscious of it. Like I have real conversations with Mike. I have real conversations with Trey. I have real conversations with my dad, my boss. Mm-hmm. I have real conversations with them and one other person at my job, white man too. I call him JT. I have real conversations with them, but then like everybody else is just background noise. Yeah. Where I'll be hearing it, but if they don't say nothing to hit my intrigue me or something, then I'm just like, all right. But them the regular people I speak with to influence me and who I would love to influence back because they influence me so much. But
so to say that is to say like, okay, because we've hit it a couple times, so let's go back to the the males who are, because I think it's an issue with the influence where it's just the fellas growing up in a one woman household or being raised by nothing but females or whatnot. You feel me? And niggas is reacting off of emotion now.
Yeah.
And we react with action instead of, as opposed to when the women's, they react off of their emotions with words.
Come on now, man. Come on now.
Yeah, they get all up in your face with it and all that.
Let's side note
we
real
got
quick.
black on black killings. And it's majority. It's majority the males, right?
So look. Let's do this in God terms, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say Hercules, the god, right? Muscle of God. Let's say he was raised by nothing but females, right? And let's say Hades, the god of death, raised by none but females. He already had bitch traits. He had bitch traits. But let's say them two, right? If they are leading from bitch ways, right? And Hercules gets mad one day because, I don't know, someone drunk his pop. You know some of the arguments we've seen that when guys go off and hit their girl.
The small shit.
Right. He could kill somebody instantly, right?
True.
Because his power level is so fucking high.
And he don't.
So what you saying is, black men react with straight violence, and I'm telling you that's the.
I said action, not violence.
Action.
Not every man, not every black man will react with violence.
No. And this is not 100%. I'm not. What I'm trying to do is explain that them actions is also a bitch trait.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Because like, what happens is, you don't have plenty of girlfriends. How many of them got mad and hit you? Right? How many times did you call the police?
0.
Now, had you got mad, because I know you don't hit women, had you got mad, or think about a friend that you might know that may have did it, and you got to be like, bro, you tripping. Had you got mad and hit her, or got mad at one of your homeboys and hit him, and it escalates, you go to jail. Why? Because she calls the cops. You go to jail if you and him fighting because y'all two powerful men fighting. Can't nobody stop y'all until one of y'all is dead or unconscious. So when we say like, well, man reacts with actions too, that's back to the bitch trait. Because right now, I tell you, if I get into it with somebody out here, I'm gonna like, bro, like, what are you tripping off of? What's up, bro?
Right.
Like, explain yourself, and I explain myself. Like, a conversation goes so far.
Like,
that's
strong.
We could just have a conversation as men.
True.
Long if it's respectful, we can hate each other.
But if we can't,
long if we communicate them respectfully, and it don't gotta be sir and none of that. I'm just saying, hey, you punk ass motherfucker, why you cut me off?
Hell yeah.
Hey, fuck you. You was driving slow. You know what I mean? But that ain't super respectful. But at the same time, that's not disrespectful.
True. Well,
you see what? Punk motherfucker, you mad about that?
I mean, whatever. Hell, you don't be mad, motherfucker.
Them ain't trigger words.
Nah, they ain't trigger words.
Like nigger or bitch.
Yeah, them trigger words.
Them is trigger words. You say, hey,
man,
motherfucker.
let me just sidebar real quick, man.
Go ahead.
That nigger word, man, that shit's so triggered. Like, it's such a trigger for me. My niece says nigger one time, and I looked over so fucking fast.
Snapped your neck.
I was like, nigga, what? Don't you ever say that
Go
shit.
Go get the belt.
Fuck you mean, nigger. Like,
go get the belt.
Nah, man, I ain't mean to cut that off like that.
Nah,
man. But
good.
that was that is a trigger word. Like, boy, that got a certain bit of influence too. Goddamn it.
Right. But what I'm saying, what we're getting at is a lot of things that's happening, and I know black females are like, y'all niggas always trying to blame us, all that little extra shit. I think y'all hold the true power. I think females hold the true power. I think they are the amplifier to a man. So a man has all the power, but a female really dictates all that power. And a female can amplify that power times 10. if she choose to amplify it times 2, she can, but she can always amplify it times 10. Mm-hmm. Who you are as a man, the right female can push you further, which also means she can push you further in the wrong direction.
I was just about to ask that. Okay.
But that is up to a man to make sure he stays on task.
See, I was going to ask it in a different way. Though. I was going to say, okay, if she can amplify your power, can she take it away?
Yes. Take it away? Yes. And that is called a child.
Not a child.
And it's not the child that does it, or it's not her and the child, but what it is she used the child to get your money, which then takes your power away. So you have physical power, but you also have power in your presence, as when you go get a job or something like that. Your presence alone instills power, which then, like, I see guys and they're so beat once they get on child support. They so beat from just fighting to see their kid that what made them happy, what they created, and the person who made them the happiest then turned on them, and now they suicidal. They don't care. That's why you see the memes where the females always saying, name one guy who hasn't threatened to kill himself. And it's like, they make it.
They got that one out.
Yeah, you still ain't got no kids yet, brother. You ain't got no kids. But
man, because I'm trying not to get to that point where I'm like, man, I don't want no broad to be able to be like, oh, I'm taking it to the courts. Like,
well,
first
a lot of times we have these kids when we're kids.
True.
Even I had mine when I was 21. I was still a kid. Not by legal standards, but I was mentally still a kid. Mm-hmm. I was moving sort of in the right direction, but I was not going fully in the right direction because my life wasn't as good as I thought. My life was better than the people I was around. Mm-hmm. And when I say better, I just mean I was making better choices. Yeah. So they probably thought their life was better, but when I would look at them and be like, you ain't got a job, you ain't got a car. You know, and I ain't got no kids. Like, I got a job, car, no kids at school. I felt like I was headed in the right direction, but my life wasn't the greatest or whatever. But I thought I was further than I was just off of that.
I feel like it's crazy because I kind of feel like I'm getting left behind in the aspect that I ain't got, kids of my own yet to raise up with.
Well,
like,
the privilege of being a man is you can have kids up until you die. The longer you wait, what? You made a face.
I don't know, man. That's just not what I learned. But, whatever.
Yeah, you can be 77 and you pop you a blue pill.
But I ain't never heard no shit like that, man.
What? A 77 having a kid?
Your sperm count go down like
it goes down, so in a sense of it's harder to have one, but you can still have one. You know what I mean? Like it. But I mean, you're 28, man. Like, right. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have one within the next 10 years, 10 to 10 years. I don't even need to go further. But
remember, I said I was trying to avoid the little skeezers that want to take you to court and shit. If I'm trying to be selective, I might not even have none.
I don't expect you just to go out here and be like me and hit somebody one night and just have a baby mama.
For sure.
Shout out to Morgan. But
fuck.
But it's so many females looking for you right now, just because you ain't got no kids, sir. I know that to be a fact. You might not know that they out there, but they definitely searching for you, sir. 28, no.
At work. Pop up on my construction site.
28, no kids. You got a nice ass job. And you're not the type to mistreat women. Like, I had a stage in my life maybe yesterday.
Where that was okay.
Where that was pretty fun. but yeah. But damn, I just caught a brain freeze. But back to the influence. So, how does influencing help the hood, or how does influence help our communities? What type of influence should we push our kids towards? Because one thing about it, when they hit that teen, that double digit age, you're no longer, like, you're still an influence tool, but you're no longer the direct influence. Like in elementary, you're the direct influencer.
For sure.
You're their main consumer.
Man, look, I got my biggest dose of understanding of what influence is when I watched what was it? It was a movie with Will Smith, and I think it was like Focus or something like that.
Focus.
Yeah, where they was thieves and shit. But anyways, like that opened my eyes to, you know what I mean, you know,
good movie.
Good movie.
Mike finally speaks, y'all. Mike's
Finally.
Media. Is it Mike's Media? Hey, I'm giving it a shout out, man. Mike's Media. Look forward to that. We'll be coming out with some things.
Man, look, but like that was my biggest eye opener for what influence can be. So it's not necessarily of you having a hands-on experience and guiding somebody to do what they should do, or what you want them to do, or
real quick,
what you think they should do.
Real quick, I need more details because I don't think I've seen this movie. I think I heard of it, but I can't recall it off the top of my head, so I don't think I've seen it.
Focus, man. Focus. So it's about, you know, Will Smith, and it's that very familiar face. It's another chick, like she a familiar face. But
what's
the
concept?
He's a thief.
Okay.
He's a pocket thief, you know, whatever.
I don't think I've ever seen Will Smith as a thief.
He can still like he make you pay attention to one thing while he robbing you on the other with the other hand. You feel me? So like, and it was just like, yo, where's your focus type thing. You feel me? So it was like, and he was teaching this one shorty that he ran into, and she wanted to learn, you know, how he did what he do, and.
Oh, I have seen this movie. I just Googled it, y'all.
You seen it?
I have seen this. I cannot recall it to say how it went. Like, I can't recall a scene.
He had a whole system set up to where, you know, it was like...
He about to play it.
He had a whole system to how he, you know, to how he ran his operations, and, you know...
Didn't he get double-crossed by her?
He got double-crossed for a split second, and he came back like... I told you, you could never really get an upper hand on me type shit.
Oh, okay. So how does that relate to influence?
So just for me, it opened my mind up to what influence is and what it can be. You know, not so necessarily like we're used to influence being hands-on, like what's right there in front of you right now.
Yeah.
But that movie kind of... By the end of that movie, he was showing like how he got away with the biggest
scheme.
You feel me? And the biggest scheme was he kept putting what it was his last bet. His last bet, like he was at a football game and he was betting the guy next to him, some big shot cat. You feel me? Like, oh man, I'll bet you this or on this down or something like that, and he'll let the dude win a couple times, and then he go back.
So he's sucking him in.
Yeah, he's sucking him in, and then all of a sudden he like shit, and he playing it off like it's like his last dollar. And when he lost his last dollar, he lost his last dollar.
Oh, he did lose it.
Or that's what he made.
He made it seem
that's what
like.
He made it seem like. But he made it seem like he lost his last dollar, and the dude, he didn't want to let dude know that though. So he made the dude was like, all right, one more bet. And he was like, nah, I'm done. I quit. You got me. And then he walks away and he comes back. And he's like, you know what? How about this? And he makes a bet.
So crazy.
He tells him to pick a number on one of the jerseys. anybody on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And if he picks the right number, he wins the bet. Or if he picked the right number. Oh yeah, he tells the dude to pick the number, and then he was gonna guess what number it was that he picked out of anybody on the field. The dude picked the number through some binoculars because they was up in the box. The dude picked the number off the jersey through the binoculars, and it was one of the fattest dudes on the motherfucking field.
So he had a big number.
So he had a big number. You feel me? And it was all spread out shit, but he guessed it. But it wasn't just because the dude had the longest stretched out numbers on the team.
Something that was eye-catching.
Because all day he had been training dude's mind. He had been putting the number. He had already targeted dude way before this game.
Yeah.
You know, he already knew this dude was gonna be in town. This big shot was gonna be in town. So he like, hey, on the poster boards, I need you to put this number up. On the on.
So it's like one of those
check
things.
in. He need to check into room number 55. No, I think 55 was the number. He need to check into room number 55. He need to see number 55 on the poster board.
So it's one of those things
55,
where
55.
It's one of those things where people keep seeing a familiar number and then they play the lotto.
Exactly.
That's a real thing too.
Exactly.
Like, where you because I be at work and we deal with numbers, 6 numbers. It's 4 letters, 6 numbers we deal with, and that's how we find every container.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'll see like a pattern of numbers.
Yeah.
And then as I'm just driving, and like already done. So like I'm looking for, let's say I'm looking for 642.73. I have found that box, deal with that box. I will never touch that box again. And I just keep seeing the 732 again, 732 again. And then every time I ride past a box that has that similar number, it just sticks out to me. It just bulges out. Even though I did that box 3 hours ago, I keep seeing these same
I keep seeing this shit
with boxes I don't need, and I don't need that box no more.
Right.
So that's like a real thing. It's like your memory just like.
And he kind of set that up to where he was the one who put those numbers in front of him.
Yeah.
Like even though he was appealing to his subconscious mind.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that was the thing that stuck out to me about influence. You know, as far as
he was influencing
the next generation
that's,
or something like that.
That's on a
it's
greater
getting it
stand.
around them. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's on such a large scale. It's like, man, I didn't know influence was that fucking huge.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It is.
And that's why, like, when you see these people say music is terrible,
Mm.
I get it now. Because music is the number one influence. Music is so emotional. Like, music controls your emotions. I can listen to a song and it can make me cry. I can listen to a song and it would make me really aggressive.
And make you remember some shit about what you went through, or
it like we could play a song right now and it'll make me want to go to the club and just be rowdy for no reason. But this music is really emotional and it really touches with the soul. And I think in the Bible it says something like music is the closest thing to the devil without meeting him. They say like that's like what he uses. Like remember everybody used to do the Illuminati thing. They used to relate all musicians to do it, and they'd be like, "Well, y'all know the devil is the god of the music, and that's how he get people to come."
Yep.
And all that, the Pied Piper and all that, get little kids to come by playing the music and shit. Like, but music
that
is
still happens to this day.
Well, music is
People still like, oh, hey, don't do it because.
Well, this is my thing. Well, yeah, they do that. But this is my thing when they try to make something out just to be evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everything that's good has an evil part, everything that's evil has a good part.
Yep, I feel
In
that.
the sense of, it's up to you to use this and go evil. Like, you go left or right. You go up or down. You choose that. You know what I mean? Like, it's all about perspective.
But I'm about to say, is there a certain number that says your chances are, and that
Like a
number is
percentage?
probably
Well,
there a percentage number? But that's probably
matter,
based off of your perspective. Like you were just saying.
I was gonna say, wouldn't that matter on your perspective, your maturity, your intelligence? Like, cause like, I'm not about to let Lil Jon get me put in jail now. You know what I mean?
Now,
I did about 5 years ago. I did take it upon myself to get away from more rap songs. So like the closest rap I listen to is on the radio. But like I listen to like a lot of R&B, a lot of hip hop, singing wise, and
I've
pop.
always chosen my raps. Now look, this is hitting on some influential shit in the family right here. Even with Big Mike being my big bro, you feel me? His first off, I think
So Mike got 22 brothers, as y'all probably realizing now.
22 of us.
The more and more we have on here.
You know. So I think he was my introduction into rap, and his first, the first thing he pointed out to me was some lyrics from Nas. Nas was his man.
I don't got no Nas lyrics.
Nas was his man, yo. Like,
only real Nas song I know or like is what's it called? The Fuck Jay-Z. What's it called though?
That's the motherfucking.
That's
Illmatic.
hard. That was
Ether.
Ether.
It's this song, yeah, Ether. Yeah. Oh, shit, everybody know that. They probably like, man, y'all niggas. It took y'all that long to figure that out. Like,
we've been drinking. Fuck y'all.
Right. Fuck y'all niggas. Nah, real talk. Like, but he would point out lyrics to me. So what do I pay attention to now? I pay attention to the lyrics.
Yeah.
So now I'm listening to somebody on the regular, like a J. Cole. You feel me? Or even a Kendrick Lamar, you feel me? Because they actually talking about.
I don't get the hype. I don't get the hype around Lamar or Big Sean.
Around Big Sean too, man. Look,
they got good songs. I listen to some of their songs, but
for me, with those two specifically, it's different levels of creativity that are still like they at the top of. They on two different sides of a pillar at the top. You feel me? So it's like
now where's J. Cole at? Where's J. Cole at then?
J. Cole, I feel like one.
Whose pillar is he on?
I think J. Cole is at the top of
his
Big
own
Sean's pillar.
So he's above Big Sean.
He's above Big Sean.
Okay.
I'm saying I got
him above Big
Kendrick
Sean
and
too.
Cole at the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Just Kendrick ain't put out as much music as Cole.
Yeah.
At least.
So you got them at the same level, but Cole got more music.
Cole got more music out right now, and
so
Cole
does that mean that Kendrick Lamar's music is more touches you more?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Mike would say put a pause on that, but
pause.
but you wouldn't say Kendrick's music touch you more, even though Cole got more out?
No,
because like.
If I'm being honest,
I don't see how they at the same color.
If I'm being honest, I resonate more with Cole shit. But I mean, I'm talking about.
So why ain't Cole above Kendrick? Is what I'm saying.
This unbiased perspective is knowing that the music that they put out when they were putting out music at the same time is equal.
So you're saying the music is equal to each other, right?
Yeah.
So if we go dollar for dollar, right? You put $1 in the pot, I put $1 in the pot. You do $1 pot, I put $1 in the pot. And then you stop and I put $1 in the pot. We still equal?
That's not fair, man. You can't put it like that because
how is that not fair?
Because that's putting a physical. That's putting it physically. You feel me? That's like.
Let's say this though. Let's say we put $1. You put $1. I put $1. Put out up to 4 times, and then you don't put $1 in, but I put $1 in, but that dollar is terrible. So like the album is terrible. Then you wouldn't count it. But if it's still a good bomb ass same tier music,
but it's the run over.
For who?
Did I just stop putting dollars in, or was that my last dollar?
Are you taking a break?
Yeah, am I taking a break?
Okay, let's start right there. Even if you taking a break, wouldn't I be a notch head and it's on you to go next to tie it up?
Can't
and
say
you
that
to go
until the game is over. It's like chess. They ain't.
No,
saying you can't say that till the game is over because in chess and you play chess. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you play chess. Is anybody ever actually winning until the game is over?
So can I comment now?
Man, go ahead, man.
I'm not saying he won.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying wouldn't he be ahead?
He better. He ahead.
Like if we're bowling.
All right. So the answer to your question is the same answer as to is anyone ever ahead in chess?
So yes.
Yes.
Well, chess is hard to say because it's a puzzle.
Hey,
It's not straight head
you've
to
heard
head.
the lyrics. You've heard the lyrics from many artists within the past 10 years. I'm sure they've said this game is chess, not checkers. Right?
Yes.
That's why I'm bringing this.
But all right, so look, if we playing 2K or if we playing basketball our damn self, right? And we on the court, and we go into halftime, and I have 6 points more. Who's ahead?
You ahead.
That's what I'm saying
At
with
the
J.
time,
Cole.
at the time, you are ahead.
And this is the thing. I only got.
But
Cole.
are you better because you are? Come on, are you the better team because you're ahead by 6 points at halftime?
No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
But at the same time, to say, I don't think you could ever do better with music because what influences you. You got J. Cole at the top. He has Lil Wayne. I have Lil Wayne. You see what I'm saying? Lil Wayne ain't lyrical like J. Cole or Kendrick.
Though he has some shit. He has some shit.
Bro,
he has some shit though.
He's not.
He has some shit. Nah, see, this is why I say J. Cole at the top now. Like Wayne, you wouldn't put Wayne. Like it's people who will put, you're not putting Wayne over Rakim in a certain in front of a certain group of people. Why?
Right, that's true. But right? I would because I don't listen to Rakim.
Exactly. So the thing is though, like over time, it's like the next best person to take what the previous person did and transform it and make it better. I mean, not to say that it can be made better, but to do something with it and put their own style into it and whatnot, they are the new best. There will always be a new best.
No, there will always be a new best because we didn't factor in Drake into this.
We didn't.
You know what I mean? So, but what had got me was you said they were at the same playing field, but not Kendrick. J. Cole had more. So I'm saying. So I was just intrigued to say. So is J. Cole
mainstream,
only tied?
Because I ain't dug into whether or not
Kendrick
Kendrick been putting something out underground or something.
That's neither here nor there. Because I'm just saying, like, if they're tied in your book, because I ain't gonna lie, I got J. Cole way ahead of Kendrick.
Okay.
I might even have Big Sean after J. Cole. And there's other people.
Shit.
There's other people in there before Sean and Kendrick, but
man, I think Kendrick put a staple in the motherfucker, and a staple in his spot. When he came out on Big Sean's Control song, and everybody heard the Control verse.
Was that Kendrick when he said, "I'm coming at this guy,
coming at all you niggas, man. I love y'all, but I'm trying to murder all you niggas, and I'm gonna do it."
I love that energy,
and he could do that. And he could do that.
Probably.
No, I mean like.
But at the same time, they can
he
murder
can
him
do
back.
that. Like at any point in time, he got that in the chamber already.
We can't just sit here and say that he's gonna have the only dope diss track on XY person, because the best diss rapper, hands down, I don't give a fuck what no one say, is The Game. You can't tell me a better. Now, let me speak on this, though. The Game is the best diss rapper. The Game does not have the best diss song. Now, some would say, oh, how is he the best if he don't got the best diss song? Because the best diss song goes to Ether. Hands down. And Nas don't got a bunch of Ethers. But The Game got a bunch of songs that's right there on Ether's back. Like, we knocking on the door. He got some fire, bruh. And I love The Game for that. Like, so
he got that.
Gang got that title
energy
for me
right
yeah.
there that says, "Hey, I come at any of you niggas. I ain't gonna give a fuck who you are. I don't care what you standing about. Standing in front of. You feel me? Like I'll knock your ass down type shit. Right. That's his whole demeanor. I fucks with that for sure.
But like, have you listened to a lot of his songs? Like as long as this song.
Hey, Game's sick, man. Game slept.
Bro, his diss to Lil Durk was fire.
I ain't heard that.
His diss to Meek Mill.
I ain't heard that.
Crucial. You heard Meek Mill.
I probably heard that, but
that's when right after Meek was this with Drake, The Game and.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, you right. First off, I feel like the whole Drake dissing anybody thing was a fluke. But
what do you mean? What do you mean? Because Drake,
they made that shit up. Come on, man. I mean, like he got it off.
What do you mean?
Don't get me wrong. Don't get
What
me
do you
wrong.
mean?
First off, let me disclaimer. I fucks with Drake.
Okay, but what do you
But-
mean they made it
Come
up?
on, man.
It
Like,
was a real thing. Like
Meek-
Drake was throwing shots at Nicki, and then Meek gets with her the following summer, and the
man.
fans
She been shooting
started.
that nigga down his whole career.
He probably hit that, to be honest.
He likely did, more
But-
than likely.
But the fans started the fans started because of that though. They was saying something to Meek Mills, and look at Meek Mills on Instagram, bro. He's always responding to fans, and he's always saying some cornball shit.
Fair.
He responded back to the fans by saying some shit about Drake. So then Drake came at that nigga like,
No, that's wrong.
What?
He was talking with a group of his boys in the studio and whatnot, and they was
No,
and
he
the
did
shit
it at a
the
concert.
Shit, the shit got out that he said
did it at a concert.
The shit got out that he said, man. Nah, because when he said it in the interview. He said one of my boys came to me talking about Drake.
It probably looked
Drake
Drake
had a ghostwriter for the song that he put
Okay,
him on.
but hold on,
He was
though.
like, man, I don't want that type of energy on my track.
Okay, that probably was some shit behind the scene. But what got it out that they was going at it was him on stage saying, "Don't compare me to Drake. He got a ghostwriter
Oh,
at a nightclub.
Oh, I feel
Like,
that.
you don't think your fans is recording you?
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when it came out, and then that's when they really started going at it. So it probably was some talk behind back
sure.
doors with no cameras recording type shit.
For sure.
But when that shit got out.
So what's the influence on that? Like,
So how does that relate to influence? Well, music in general does. That's how we got on that topic. Music in general influences you, and I think with the black community, what we could take from this is watch who you allow to influence you. Like even as a kid, you responsible for your actions. Sadly, but even as a kid, you can do something today because life is not promised that will ruin your life for the rest of your life. Like, you can kill somebody, their life's gone.
that's real.
You was only 8, your life is in jail now.
Yeah.
You could have killed an 8-year-old at 8, or you could have did something, not listen to your parents, run across the street, get hit by a car. Like, so I always say this thing where I'm like, you're responsible for all your actions, even when you're a kid. I tell my daughter, like, you're always gonna be responsible for your own actions. Like, there's gonna be times where I can't save you. Like, physically, I cannot be there.
True.
Physically, I cannot heal you. There's going to be these times, so you have to be cautious of your decisions and who you allow around you, who you allow to influence you. Everything looks like fun when you're a kid, but that end result might not be fun. You have to. So influence is a big one.
What would you say the best way to influence a kid is?
The easiest way to influence a kid is shine something shiny in front of them and then tell them to do the right thing. The best way to influence a kid is, I'm still learning that. I'm a parent. I'm still learning it. If y'all got some ideas, tell me.
For sure.
I mean, I give them allowances. I give them responsibilities. I give them chores. I do all that stuff. But there's no guideline to this book of parenting.
For sure.
So, or even helping out the next, because helping out the next kid is so hard. When I had my nephews, it was so hard because they was just set in stone who they was, and they didn't want to hear me. They didn't listen to their own mama. Why they gonna listen to me? So that stuff is hard.
So long story short, if you got something they want, then you can get their attention.
You get their attention,
And
make
then
them
you
do
can
the
influence
right
them that way.
thing. Make them do
Okay.
the right thing,
And
teach
overall,
them to make this a habit. Do this every day.
habits. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you would say that the same thing is, the same thing applies to adults as well.
Well, adults, you got more will, and you can. The same thing applies, but
we gotta put something in front of ourselves.
You gotta control. Yeah, you gotta set yourself goals. Like, I want to take a trip to Africa with my family. Let me go to work and bust ass. Let me tell my kids, hey, we ain't getting the latest Apple products this month. Nobody. We gonna bust ass. hey, everybody's allowance, y'all still get it, but it's going in this pot. Y'all ain't touching it until we leave. You know, so it goes like that. Or Disney World for the kids who, if you haven't took your kids, we gonna do Disney World. You know, and you build up that vacation, you build up that money to go kick it and do all that. You can say it goes like that. Ooh, a new car coming out. I want the new car. All right, let me get
yourself.
Yeah,
to be able to get those goals.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I told you this before, man. I appreciate what you're doing with this here, man. Your movement is definitely it's a thing that's going. It's gonna have a huge impact. It's gonna be a huge influence. As long as you keep at it, man, you do your thing with it. Don't stop. Just don't stop. You grow with it. Consistency. Man, more people. If you worried about the views, man, it's gonna come. Just know stuff like this, man. Conversations that need to be had. You having those over this platform, I think that's gonna be very impactful, and I appreciate you more for it. So,
yeah. I think I'm gonna need you more and more. Like even when I interview other people, just to be there in the same room. Your energy is on point. You're very intelligent. You're a Gemini, which is amazing all the time. Automatic right. Because when you wrong, it wasn't you, it was your other side.
For sure.
He don't even know what he was talking about, but look, I'm here now. Like, that's how it goes.
My God.
Anytime I'm wrong, it was never Marcus, it was Craven.
There it is.
That's how it goes. But
only haters will say we just not taking the.
We're
not being accountable.
We're gonna do a shot on.
Only haters will say we're not being accountable when we do that. Nah, we accountable.
Right, we be accountable. We admit we wrong, and then tell us how our other personality thinks.
Yeah.
Woo. But I think that's gonna be it for this episode. We don't want a minute. We don't want an hour 15 minutes. So give them your ads, man. Let them know how to find you, where to look for you, what you got coming up, your business, what you do for a living, because you got your own business. So
yes,
let them know how to find you or whatnot.
Yes. All right. Well, you can find me on Facebook. Don't hold me like I'm not human on Facebook, just because I might post something you disagree with. But DL space Carey, Carey. On Instagram, I'm Ace2Smooth. That's AY3CE _ 2 Smooth. That's VE at the end, no TH. Get that shit out of here. And that's it, man. I don't do that other shit.
Well, tell them what you do with your business.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm an electrician, but I also hang TVs. I paint walls. You feel me?
Flooring.
Hey, I'm your go-to guy, all right?
He does all that construction and maintenance stuff.
Jack of all trades with an asterisk on electrical. So,
yeah,
hit me up.
He actually sitting in here with all his work gear on. Y'all wish y'all could see him. He got the ink pen, the flashlight, the electrical pen, all that stuff. Check out his stuff. But we also got Mike Media in the back, and me and Mike is we putting together something. We drawing on the boards yet. It'll be coming soon. It's gonna be some sports stuff for you too. Me and him working on. So look forward to seeing that. Please support. If you don't, ladies that listen, or fellas if you listen, if you ain't into sports or whatnot, tell your mans, tell your partner, tell somebody, like, check out my People Sports Day, man. You know, always love and support, man. And with that, we is out. Dope.